In yesterday's video, I let you know that there were three things that you needed to keep your eye on. One of them was the VIX. If we got a drop below this particular support line, we were going to see a major rally, and that's what eventuated. We also talked about keeping your mindset positive and optimistic is really, really important. We'll get into what caused the markets to absolutely ramp up. We see that the Dow Jones Industrial Index climbed nearly 8%, the S&P nearly 10%, the Nasdaq was over 12%, and the Russell 2000 nearly 9% up. I'll keep you focused on what you need to look at next. Let's run the numbers. Hey everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS and the CTKS Method. I hope you're well. Now, when we look across the markets, one of the things to understand was the VIX came down. The VIX is the key indicator of volatility inside the main markets. There is a 90-day tariff pause on a lot of different countries, but the tariffs on China still remain, and they were increased. What we saw in the last trading session, the VIX came down. This is a one-day chart. So when we see the VIX coming down, that means the major indices are coming up. And because crypto cannot escape the stock market's gravity, crypto came up as well. Looking at the main markets, because the VIX dropped, look at the sea of absolute green across every single sector. That sea of green translated into a 9.52% all-sector increase, one of the largest in history. The Fear and Greed Index, which had been on 4 for a couple of days, actually dropped down to 3 and then jumped up to 17. You can see it here, just incredible stuff. As the markets were tanking, we had a 44.5% probability of a rate decrease or an easing in the federal funds rate. We can see that that's dropped significantly down to 23.9%. Just today. You get wild swings in these probabilities. It's important to look at the markets each and every day. Even if you're a long-term investor, markets move around quite significantly. And we can see inside the crypto market, it was pretty red yesterday, but it's done really well in the past 24 hours. Why? Because of the VIX. This is why checking the cheat sheet is so incredibly important. You can see inside row 1, the VIX came down 35.75%. It was actually the drop in the VIX that was responsible for the major market rally. We can see junk bonds are up slightly. Look at the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, the Dow, and the Russell, all doing quite well. And then when we look at the futures, we can see there's a lot of profit taking at the current time. Now, what does this actually mean? It means that although we saw incredible market volatility to the upside, people are just scared to death at the current time. It's very important that we look into market structure as well. We can see that MicroStrategy indeed filled that positive and negative CTKS gap. If you participated in that, congratulations, fantastic work. And we can only get these kind of gains because we look at structure, as well as intercorrelation and interdependence. Total crypto market cap is up nearly 9%. ETH, good on you, Vitalik, about time you came up. And USDT dominance is going very, very negative. This means that flows out of stable coins into the market is occurring. And you can see that pretty damn well. We've had some fantastic gains, some double digits, and this is exactly what happens in sell-offs. Sell-offs create rallies. I said this quite a few days ago as the title of one of the, well, at least the description of one of the videos. And what we're seeing here is inside the row 1 references, we're getting double-digit negatives. This is really good because if the VIX falls, it's going to sustain a rally. But is this rally sustainable? Now let me show you this little creature. This is the VIX. This is highly non-normalized price action. When we look at what's occurring inside the VIX, we haven't seen this for a very, very long time. And what does it mean? As soon as we curl over, it doesn't mean that it's over. Not by any stretch of the imagination. We could get a bit of a bounce. So we need to look very carefully at what's going to happen into the future, and I'll show you exactly what you need to keep your eyes on. If you would like this TradingView watch list, you just go across to CTKSmethod.org. Scroll down until you find your cheat sheet for mastering price action. Please make sure you download this as well if you haven't already. And then if you go down a little bit further, you'll see the official ticker list for the service. That's that watch list. It is invaluable, especially when you learn how everything is intercorrelated and interconnected. Financial markets move around like the weather moves around. A lot of people wouldn't consider going outside unless they quickly check the weather forecast. If you're an investor, a long-term investor, or a trader, you absolutely need to check the weather inside financial markets. One of the best ways to check that, which is risk-on or risk-off volatility, is in fact the VIX. And you can see the VIX playing out inside the major futures. For example, the S&P 500 sparked up when President Trump announced that 90-day pause on tariffs. Now, what happened to the futures of the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, the Russell, and the Dow? They all went absolutely nuts. Because that pause in tariffs, it brought a degree of certainty into the markets. So you must keep your eyes on the futures first and foremost. If we saw a big retracement down, that means that people are taking profit, they're very scared, or the China tariffs are starting to impact. But it doesn't matter what the reason is inside the news. They'll find one. They'll just pick one. All you need to do is to look at the actual weather forecast, which is either down or it's up or it's consolidating. It's a three-way tie for what it could be. Do not automatically assume just because it goes up, it cannot come down, or just because it comes down, it cannot go up. You gain certainty from the charts and the structure within the market. And the most important thing, you can become an institution of one. You can do it yourself, which is what this channel is literally all about. It's about empowerment. Inside the crypto market, we need to look at Bitcoin, which is currently $83,036. We've seen that we've got above this structural support at 81,866. We've got structural resistance at 83,843. The bearish case is that we lose the 81,866 structural support level and dip down into all of this structure between 78 and 79,501. The bullish case is we get across 83,843 and we make our way up to 84,573 and the major structural resistance around that 85,728 mark. Remember, price is always moving in a wave. I'll just change this view to a 15-minute view, and when we look at Bitcoin, we can see that we overcame that 81,866 structural resistance level, and we've started to pass a lot of sellers into the market, and they're seeking to push price down. Is it the 83,843 level or something else? The question is, it's that and something else. I'll show you. Looking at the same 15-minute chart on total crypto market cap, we can see around this $2.61 trillion, there's quite a bit of overhead structural resistance. Now, the entire crypto market cap is being hinged down here, so what it means is there are a lot of people taking profit at this particular time. They're not quite sure if a 90-day pause on tariffs is enough to save their accounts, and they've been very badly whipsawed just recently. Remember, the total crypto market cap and Bitcoin move as one, so it's very important to understand this. Therefore, if we see total crypto market cap getting above this area of structure, that's looking particularly good. Now, what is above it? Well, realistically, not too much, up until 2.69 trillion. So we could see another big leg up if the bulls get in control and take us above this area. I'll show you how this plays into Solana and other charts momentarily. But if we get a push down here, we're coming back to around this 2.56 level, which is under the bottom there. Just going back to Bitcoin, remember what we were saying, total crypto market cap getting above here is really good, but we'll find it's not all clear sailing because we've got structure just here. You have to keep your eye on structure, intercorrelation, and interconnection. Remember the structure in total and the structure in Bitcoin is around there. That would be a sweet spot to trade. This is one for the service members, the elite service members of the CTKS Method service. Please make sure you pay a lot of attention to this month's video. What we're seeing is a bit of a kick up, but it's not where we want to see it just yet. Before the CTKS method, many people thought that their charts moved independently of other charts. Well, let's look at the structure on ADA at the current time, and you can see the structure of total crypto market cap and Bitcoin is really similar to ADA's structure. But there's a problem. ADA has a lot of overhead structure at 64.33 and 64.55. These are things that you want to keep in mind. Also note that ADA doesn't have that same level of structural support inside Bitcoin and inside total crypto market cap. It's actually lower at 62.27. Solana has been doing well. The force is strong with this one. But when we look at structure, that's what we really need to know. We need to know where smart money is buying and selling. Right now, Bitcoin and total crypto market cap are impacting Solana. Solana is just a little bit below that 119.22 structural. It's either support or resistance. It's too early to call. And note this structural support at 117.65. Strategy, formerly MicroStrategy, is a really gappy thing to trade and invest in. We saw that it was falling down to around this 236 mark, and then it came up literally 25%. But could you have predicted this ahead of time? In fact, we did. We did it yesterday. We said that MicroStrategy was falling through this negative CTKS gap. This is on a 15-minute, and there was just huge structure around this 236 to 241 area. And then there was a positive CTKS gap all the way up to around that 297. And what we saw was a 25% increase. And many thanks to all the people who reached out, who took advantage of this trade. Absolutely superb. And for the people inside the service, I was talking about this up and down gap inside the service as well. If you haven't seen this month's service video, please do so. It's absolutely one of the best I've ever put out. The structure inside every single chart is different, and you can trade any chart that you want. Just for example, that MicroStrategy, that was a pretty juicy trade. Well, let's have a look at XRP's levels. And we know what we're looking for. We're looking for structural support here, structural resistance here, in terms of total crypto cap and also Bitcoin. But look at this juicy MicroStrategy like structural support down at that 198 area. This is really good for XRP at the current time. A lot of people get pretty tribal on what they're prepared to trade or invest in. That's fair enough, but when you come to trading, we just look at the structure and we seek to take advantage of it. As the markets get choppier and choppier, it's very important to pick up the skill of trading. If you had the trading skill, you could have taken advantage of that MicroStrategy, now strategy trade, and it would have been very juicy. It's actually happened more than 3 times in the past couple of months. Looking at BNB, we can see the structure here occurs a little bit later, and we all have that same kind of structural pattern across the alts that we've been looking at. But let's talk about or check out the structure on BNB. We can see it's playing through here like just literally total crypto market cap is doing the same. But when it comes down to the structure here, it's just not present. So BNB, it's getting its structure from total crypto market cap and Bitcoin. All the alts do this. This is why intercorrelation and interconnection are so vital to understand, and I do deep dives inside the Profiting course. By looking through the cheat sheet, you can get instant understanding if the markets are strengthening or if the markets are weakening. It's an incredible game changer. It will literally put you on equal footing with institutions, so you can become an institution of one. And there are a lot of videos on the homepage to help you out as well. If you just scroll down, you'll see just down here how to use the cheat sheet to decode financial markets. And don't forget to pick up the ticker list for the service. It's very, very useful. It's very important to keep positive, so the daily CTKS Krieg can really help you out. You might like to take a screenshot of this and just read it to yourself each and every day, because you know the universe is designed to make you succeed. Every day you can show kindness, integrity, and gratitude, because you're not in competition with anybody else except yourself to become the best version of you that you can be. You know that opportunities in life reset daily. You are worthy. You can go slow to go fast. Building strong foundations is the key to everything in life. You are worthy. You are starting small and scaling with BORSOG. If you just go in at leverage, you'll find that you'll blow up your account because you just don't know what you're doing until you understand intercorrelation and interconnection as well as structure. They are very important things to understand. Always remember that life pullbacks will give you the strength for the next life rally. And the fact that you're here means that you are tough. You're a gladiator. You're a warrior, not a warrior. Trading and investing is definitely inside your blood. And if it is, you'll just keep on coming back and coming back and coming back until you learn the rules of the market and the rules of your mind. Both are equally as important. And you know by being dedicated and committed that you're either winning or learning, and you never blame, because blaming disempowers you and you just get the lesson at a steeper cost inside the future, so you don't want that. You're far too intelligent, so you just learn. After all, you paid for the lesson, you should get the benefit of it. And you always solve your problems with positive excellence. Have a great day or night ahead, my friends, and Kate and I look forward to catching up with you again in the next video. Bye for now.